Kakadosh, Boker Or, Masechet Sanhedrin Daf Yomi Daf Samazan Mudalev 67A1. We are starting a new Mishnah. Hamesit. You remember we made a differentiation between a Mesit and Mediach. So Hamesit, that we already spoke about it before, the Mesit gets Sekila. He was one that convinced other people to do Avodah Zarah. Ze Hedyot. Right? We're talking about right now that somebody is going to be a Mesit for Avodah Zarah, and he's not a Navi that's doing this. He's a regular person, right? A regular person. Ve Mesit et Hedyot. And the Kavanah is also that he's causing other people, which are Hedyotim, to do it as well. Meaning, we're not talking about a leader that comes and causes you to do Avodah Zarah or causes other leaders to do Avodah Zarah. We're talking about a Hedyot to another Hedyot. Hedyot means a simple man, right? Meaning not a Nasi, not a regular, a simple person comes and he convinces another simple people to come to do Avodah Zarah. Amar, if he says, Yeshir abim komploni, כך אוכלת, כך שותה, כך מטיבה וכך מריעה, right? That is the Mesit. What does that mean? How does he do it? He says there's a Avodah Zarah. Remember, the Yir'ah, right, is like there's a fear here, but here it means there's an Avodah Zarah. So there's an Avodah Zarah here. This is how it eats. This is how it drinks. This is what it does good to you. This is what it does bad. You know, all these different things. So therefore, that is the concept of, right, the Avodah Zarah. So he's going to tell you, if you serve it, you're going to get gold. And if you don't serve it, you get punished. You get, I don't know what. You understand? That's the kach metiva ve kach meria. This is the good that's going to be done, and this is going to be the bad, which is going to be done. Kol chayavei mitot shebatorah, en machminin alehem. Right? Chutz mizo. Do you know, to do with all the mitot in the Torah, meaning any type of death penalties in the Torah, we're not going to come and to do, they call it in English, a sting operation. A sting operation. You know what a sting operation is? When the FBI comes and they want to go to, they want to find out, right? Are you a terrorist? Are you, I don't know what? Are you, all these different things. So what do? They do sting operations. So they come to you in secret and they tell you, you wanted the bomb and you wanted this and you wanted that. Or they come and they are the ones that they get contacted. And then they come, Kilu, they're simple people. And then the guy comes and he says, yeah, I want to do this and I want to attack and I want to do a terrorist attack. Now the FBI are already in it. They already know. So therefore that, it's called like a sting. It's like a trap. So there's no such thing as placing a trap of witnesses other than this. The Mesit is the only one in the Torah, right? And that's what it says here. Bechol chayve mitot en anu mamidim edim mustarim. We'll never put hidden witnesses in order for somebody to do an avirah. The opposite. He's not going to be chayav mita unless you warn him. But the Mesit to avoid Avodah Zarah, they come and they put him secretly. How do you call it? They put him like witnesses in order to see what he's doing, and he gets killed without hatra. Because remember, for Avodah Zarah, you don't need hatra. So here, he's the only one that you get killed, right, without hatra. Amali shnaim, right? If he comes and he tells two people, right, hen edav, the two people themselves are his witnesses. Umevino tol bedin, they bring you to bedin. So imagine the guy chose the wrong thing because he didn't go to one person at a time. He went to two people one shot and he starts telling them, listen, you should do this avodah zarah, na 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 na. Boom, they both come to Bedin. Boom, they both kill him. Why? They are the witnesses against him. They are the witnesses. Exactly. Yeah, there you go. You have the Shnei Edim. Okay, fine. Amar le'echad. What happens when he tells one person? Hu omer. Now that Mesit comes and he says, in order to be chayav mitah, יש לי חברים רוצים בכך. Yeah? Now, אם היה ערום ואינו יכול לדבר בפניהם, מחמימים לו עדים מאחורי הגדר, והוא אומר לו, right? אמור מה שאמרת בייחוד, והלאה אומר לו, והוא אומר לו, איך נניח אלוהינו שבשמיים ונלך נעבוד את צבע אבנים? אם חוזר בו, הרי זה מוטב, ואם אמר, כך היא חובתנו וכך יפה לנו, העומדים מאחורי הגדר, מביאים אותו לבדים וסוקלים אותו. So basically here, again, this is a trap that we're talking about. What happens if you only set it in front of one person? So the way to do it is that, remember, here you're the individual. So he says, you know how you do it? You set him up a trap. If he tells you, let's do this Avodah Zarah, says, you know what? I've got a friend that he probably also wants to do it. Give me 1 minute. You call the friend, you tell him to come. And then what's happening is he's speaking in front of two people. But what happens now if he does not want to speak? He doesn't want to speak in front of two people. The guy's a smart guy, so he doesn't want. So here what you're going to do is you're going to put the two guys behind the fence, right? That means they can't see you, right? And then what happens? You come and say, by the way, what did you tell me before? You wanted me to serve Avodah Zarah, but how am I going to leave? How are we going to leave our God and serve etzim v'avanim. How do you want that? Yeah. So he comes and he says, right? So he says like this. He says, how do you want that? So he comes and he says, no. He says that if he was chozeh b'tshuva, chazak baruch. What he's not chozeh b'tshuva? So then they come and they're going to kill him. They're going to bring him. They're going to kill him. Haomer evod or elech evod, nelech v'na'avod, azabeach. אלך ואזבח, נלך ונזבח, הקטיד, אלך והקטיד, נלך ונקטיד, אנסך, אלך ואנסך, נלך ונסך, ישתחווה, אלך וישתחווה, או נלך ונשתחווה, הרי זה חייב. The Mishnah is going to bring down other cases as well. Imagine right now somebody comes and to his friend and he says, I'm going to be Oved Avodah Zarah. Or, right, I'm going to go and be Oved Avodah Zarah. Or we should go to be Oved Avodah Zarah. Now the same context of I will serve, or it's going to be I will sacrifice, I will go and sacrifice, or we should go and sacrifice, or I will do the ketoret. Remember, these are the different things that are always in universal. Remember, bringing a sacrifice to the Avodah Zarah is number one. Serving it the normal way is a number two. Bringing a ketoret is number three. Nisuch. We saw that nisuch is usually going to be the wine libations, or it could even be the sprinkling of the blood. The same thing. And also ishtachavaya, which means bowing down to it. In any of these services that you come and you do it to any avodah zarah in the world, that is a universal way of serving the avodah zarah, and therefore you're going to be chayav. So imagine you come and you tell your friend, I'm going to do it. Whether it's going to be, I'm going to bring a sacrifice, I'm going to bow down, I'm going to bring a ketoret, I'm going to do the nisuch, or I'm going to go to do it. Not or I'm going to serve it. I'm going to go serve it. Elech ve'avod, or whatever it is. Or nele, we should go do it. So he's going to be chayav. Whether it's going to be lashon rabim and lashon yachid, that's a chidush. He's still going to be chayav. Okay. Now he comes and he says, right in the Gemara. Okay, until here the Gemara, the Mishnah is clear. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Says the Gemara. Hamesit ze hediot. We just said in the Mishnah the Mesit is going to be idiot. Right, Tamad idiot. The reasoning is because he's going to be idiot. That's why he's going to be chayav sekila. Hanavi. What happens if he's a navi and he's been mesit other people to do avodah zarah? He gets chenek. Okay. Now, if he's going to be vamesit et idiot, now if he's going to come and he's going to be mesit et idiot, why is it davka idiot? Tamad yachid, because it's going to be one person. Harabim. What happens if it's a lot of people? Bechenek. Again, he gets chenek. So matzniti mani. So then, who is our Mishnah then? Right, that says this. He says Rabbi Shimoni. The time was learned in a Braita. Navi sheidiach beskila. Rabbi Shimon omer bechenek. Meaning, our Mishnah is obviously going according to Rabbi Shimon because according to the shitat of Tanakama, there's no difference who is the one that's being mediach. You could be a navi, you could be I don't know what. At the end of the day, there's still going to be sekila. Only according to Rabbi Shimon does it go down in a level that it becomes chenek. I'm not sure exactly why. Let me just see. Why does it say here bechenek 15? It doesn't say why. Why does it go down? It just says that sheyamit nabeh b'shem hakadosh baruch hu l'madav zara. Let me see on the Mishnah. Because by the Navi, it's like a Gzerat HaKatuv. It's not a Svara. Yes, chenek is less. So then the question is why? The opposite. If it was an Navi, more people would listen to him. But no, because it's a pasuk. Because the pasuk says by any time that it's talking about Mesitu Mendiach, it says Uskalto Bavanim. But to do with the Navi, that it says Hanavi Ahu or Chalem Ahu Yumat. If somebody is going to be a Shadiber Sarad, he spoke falsely. There it just says Yumat. Now we know that whenever it says Yumat and it doesn't say Demem Bam or Damav Bo, it does not mean sekila, it means chenek, because that's a stamam mitamura b'Torah. So it's kilu gzerat hakatuv, but it doesn't say, right? It doesn't say svara, meaning it's not like a svara. It's the opposite. I would have said you should get even a stronger punishment because more people are going to listen to you. But I guess it's just because of the pasuk. Eima seifa. Sorry, next part. Rabbi Shimon omer bechenek madichei ira nidacha b'skila. Rabbi Shimon omer bechenek. So also to do with madichei ira nidacha, the ones that were madiach for the ira nidachat. Because remember, there's masit and mediach. Masit is still individual. Mediach is for the entire city, and that's why it's also madiach nidachat. Remember that, right? Masit to mediach. So the madichei ira nidachat is going to get sekila. According to Rabbi Shimon, they're going to get chenek. Says the Gemara, I've got a contradiction. Why? Look at the latter part of the Mishnah. The Seifa. Ema Seifa. Hamadiach ze omer nelech v'navod v'da kochavim. Now there it says nelech b'lashon rabim. Ve'amar v'yud amar rav madichei nidachat shem u'tamar madichei nidachat. So that is going according to Rabbanan. Because there, when it says that you're going to be chayav, There it's not mashma that all of a sudden now it's changing to chenek. So what? Reisha is going to be Rabbi Shimon and the Seifa is going to be Rabbanan? What's going on? How could it be? You have the first part of the Mishnah. The first part of the Mishnah is mashma, like Rabbi Shimon. Why? Dafka, it has to be a hedyot that's convincing another hedyot, a simple person convincing another simple person to do avodah zarah, right? But according to Tanakama, it's still sekila, but mesit is always mesit. Mesit is always going to be, right, sekila. So the question is, that is going according to Rabbi Shimon. But the Seif of the Mishnah, where the Seif of the Mishnah is coming and telling you that nelech v'na'avod, we are going to go and do avodah kochavim. He's a mediach, right? And what happens? He gets sekila. Now, according to Shitat Rabbi Shimon, they get chenek because this is like a nidacha. This is like a public. So says the Gemara, no. It's a mistake. Ravina Amar, kula Rabbanani. The entire Mishnah is going according to Rabbanan. Velozu afsu katani. What does it mean? Not only that, but even that, which means not only if you're going to be Mesita Yachid, you get Sekila, but even if you're going to be Mesita Rabim, you're going to get Sekila. Okay? Which means that you're always going to get Sekila. So that means when we came and we said Mesita Idiot, it's not coming to exclude either right Irani Dachat, right? Because that also gets Sekila. Okay? But rather, it's lozu afsuktani, meaning not only this case that you're going to be mesita yachid, but even if you're going to be mesita rabim, also you're going to get sekila. That is the first answer of Ravina. Okay, clear? Ravina, first answer. Second answer, Rav Papa Aman. Rav Papa, actually no, that's it. That was the answer. Okay, now we're going to go back to the concept of what we spoke about, the mesita zediot. So Rav Papa Amar kiktani mesit zediot lachmana. What is the kavanah of the Mishnah when the Mishnah says that we're talking about mesit as hediot? The kavanah is that we're looking at to the mesit like a hediot and a shoteh, that we're going to come and be mekel in his life, and therefore we're going to come and set him up in order to kill him through this trap. Okay, the Tanya was we learned in a braita. There's no other case in the Torah where you will ever set up a trap except for this. How do they do it for him? They're going to turn on the light in the inner room. And then we put him witnesses on the outer one. So that way they have to see him and they have to hear his voice. And he's not going to see them. That's why you have to have the light inside, because if you cannot see the person clearly, you can't kill him. You still need to see him, and you have to hear his voice. So therefore, you have to have the light on, and therefore they have to be able to see him perfectly. Then he says, "And tell me what you said, b'yichud." And he tells him, now the other one's going to tell him, how are we going to leave Hashem our God in the Shemaim and we're going to start doing avodah zarah? Right, before it was written, it's Vavanim, now it's written avodah kochavim, same thing. If he does teshuvah, then it's going to be okay. But if he says that's our obligation. Yeah, you're checking ChatGPT. Yeah, or that's going to be good for us. Oh, okay. He says hayadim shomin mibachutz. Yeah, mevi'in oto levedin v'soklin oto. So what happens is the edim that they're listening, yeah, he comes and he says they're going to be listening on the outside. They're going to bring him to Bedin, and then they're going to do sekilah. Yeah, fine. So says the Gemara, this is the way that we're going to do, right? That when it says mesit zediot, that's a chidush, that we're going to trap him. Okay, and we're by the Mishnah again. Everybody clear until here? Yeah? Okay, next, Mishnah. Mediach. Where did you see Rava? Ravina. Right, Ravina. Yeah, because our Mishnah is Rabbanan. It's always much better to say that the Mishnah is going according to the public, which is the rabbis, right, Rabbanan, instead of just one individual. That's always better. Okay? Unless it's going to be like a Stam Mishnah, like Rabbi Meir, things like that. But other than that, it's always much better to do that. Okay? Okay. Everybody good? Yeah? Okay, Mishnah. HaMediach. Remember that I just explained to you that the Mediach is the exact same as a Mesit. The only difference is Mediach is being done to a city, right? Or even the majority city. It doesn't have to be every single person in the city, but to a city. So it says HaMediach. That is the person that says that we're going to go and do avodah zarah. Hamchashef. What is mchashef? Haoseh maaseh chayav. If you do an action, because remember, it only has to be real sorcery. It's not just things like that. But if you're going to be velo ochezet einayim, but not ochezet einayim, right? Ochezet einayim, right, is basically illusions, right? They make an illusion, right? But that's I remember actually when we had an entire shiur once. Rabbi Peretz, he gave the shiur. He basically told the magician, right? You could do all your magic tricks on one condition. You have to tell them what the trick is. So he's like, okay, but that means I'm only going to do it once, and then that's it. Yeah, you understand? So it's a problem.
But usually they say everything is.
No, usually they don't say that. They tell you, look, I'm going to do magic kilo, and then they come and they do all these things.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
This is what they say.
Yeah.
They didn't show him the trick.
No, you're right. But that's Ashkenazim. For Sfaradim, right? It's much more strict. For Sfaradim, there's a big problem of Achizat Einayim. Yeah, it's not that simple for Achizat Einayim. Yeah, look what it says here in the footnote. The footnote, it says, Ledata Rambam. אתה שומע? לדעת הרמב"ם, האוחז את העיניים הוא עושה דברים שנינים מתמיהים על ידי זריזות וקלות תנועת הידיים. Somebody that's אוחז את העיניים, he does weird things by the quickness of his hands. So he says, even though he's not going to be חייב מיתה, הוא עובר הלא תעשה. He's going to transgress a negative commandment. So don't go into magic business, yeah? Yeah, a negative commandment, lo ta'aseh. Right, that's why. So yeah, I remember. I think he said that in order to get out of the lo ta'aseh, you're already telling them what you're doing. Like immediately right afterwards, you already tell them this is what I just did. So it's not even kilu achizat einayim. Again, it's not that simple. Obviously, it was like you said, it's a job. But okay. Rabbi Kiva Omer. Rabbi Kiva comes and he says in the name of Yeshua, Shnaim loktin kishuin. Right, two people they're coming and they're taking kishuin through mechashefot. Hechal loket patur, ve'echad loket chayav. Now how? Imagine right now through the mechashefot, one of them is taking, and he's going to be patur. One of them is taking, is going to be chayav. So how could that be? So he says, you're going to be chayav, but the one that's ochezet einayim, he's going to be patur. So if it only looks like it, yeah. This was actually an incredible concept, just to show you the quickness of the hands. I just read it that there was a story of a very very big mohel. And what happened was, but he had to save face of the people there. So what happened was he was invited on Shabbat to do Brit Milah. We have so he comes on the Shabbat to do Brit Milah, right? He's coming. There was it's on twins, so he comes, and all of a sudden, right? He's speaking to the mother, and what does he realize? They were born with C-section. If a baby is born with a C-section, there's no brit on Shabbat. Shabbat is only pushed off if it's a normal birth, vaginal birth. If it's going to be birthed through a C-section, Sunday. Now, he's already there. He's there. Keilu, the brit is there. Everybody's there. The guests are there. The food is there. Everything's there. And he doesn't know what to do. No, I guess maybe they didn't tell him. I don't know. Something happened. I don't know what happened. That all of a sudden, he only found out on Shabbat. So he faked it. And he was very, very quick. It was very, very quick. So they went and they said that you don't do the brachot. You only do the psukim without the brachot or whatever it is, but you fake it. But he did it very, very quick. And they all started speaking about, look, incredible this mohel was, that he even did it and there was no blood. Because chovel b'chavero is no, he can make him cry. He can make the baby cry. There's no problem. But and then on Sunday he came and he did the Brit Milah.
Why it's not easy to say it's a and that's
People could tell. People could see. Sahevet, you could see.
I think this one people can say.
No, he did it so quick they didn't realize. He could probably fake the name. I don't think there's a problem. If you would give the name in order not to embarrass him, there's no isur. There's no isur. Right? It's still the 8th day. The only thing is just that it's not the brit. You understand? Because you're not allowed to be mechalel Shabbat. Meaning, technically speaking, you would have given the brit. It's just that it does not. The brit is a chabura, and chabura does not push off Shabbat. So because of that, so okay, they did. They would do it. They would do it. But I'm saying, but it's meaning they're giving us. Yeah. הוא לא שומע אותך, הוא חצי יושן, מה ברית?
חצי יושן, הוא שומע.
שומע. Fine, let's go. Let's go. Okay? Fine. So anyway, no, but it was just showing because he didn't want to embarrass them of like what's going on. Right? So because of that, it was like a very weird situation. You know what it is? No, because the mohel became all white when he found out. He didn't know what to do. So when he went outside for a few minutes, somebody saw him. He said, "What's going on?" He goes, "No, he was." See, when he said, "What? You're a professional. Fake it. You're able to, do everything so quickly. Your clothes here you go."
He didn't even try with this noise.
You see, that's what he said. Yeah, that's what he said. You see, you're sleeping and you're listening. Let's go. Fine. Says like this. Yeah. So he says over here, right? We're talking about achizat enaim. So if you did achizat enaim, you're going to be patur. But if you did an action, you're going to be chayav. Says the Gemara Amar Rav Yudam Rav. Says the Yudam Rav. Medichein nidachat shadu kam. We're talking about here medichein nidachat, right? And that's what we talk about when it says a mediach, because it didn't say mediach of what. So we're talking about medichein nidachat, right? Which we already explained already. Okay, but that's why it's called mediach. But that they get right sekila according to Tanakama. Okay. Fine. By the way, it says it in the footnote. Right? He says here, "Mesita cherim lavodah zarah is nikra mediach rak mediach et rov toshvei shel ha'ir." That's why it's called nidachat. That means he has to do the majority of the people in the city. That's when he becomes a mediach. Until then, he's a mesit. There's a mesit and then a mediach. Right? The mesit is a few people, right? Even 1, 2, 3, whatever. But mediach is the entire city, the majority of the city. Okay. Next. Hamchashef zeh oseh maaseh. Somebody that does an action. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. Mechashefa lo techayetz. This week's parasha. We're going to be reading it tomorrow, Bezat Hashem. So mechashefa, right? What does that mean? And by the way, this is tomorrow's daf, right? What does that mean? Mechashefa lo techayeh, which means that the one that is a sorcerer, that you don't let them live, you have to kill them. Echad haish v'echad haisha. Doesn't matter whether it's going to be a man or a woman. What does that mean? The majority of the sorcerers are the women. Meaning, how many of these ones are men? Usually they're women. Right? These right, all these mechashefot and everything. Huh? 100%. Right, but the majority of them are usually women. Right? That was the story you remember with the rabbi and the 80 mechashefot that he went and he killed Rabbi Baba Ben Buta. I forgot what it was. Huh? 80. I think it was 80 in one day. Yeah, that he killed 80 in one day. One of the Rabbanim. Yeah, it was in one of the Babot, but I think we also quoted it here, actually. I think we quoted it also in Sanhedrin, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's always machshavut. Don't worry about it. Yeah, fine.
Still think you're where it exists and all that stuff?
Of course. Well, you don't believe that it exists? So says the Gemara, mitatam bema, how do you kill them? When it says you're not allowed to let them to live, so it says you don't let the sorcerer live, and you're not going to let them live. Just like over there, Besaif is going to be with a sword. So to here, Mechashva is going to be with a saif. Rabbi Kiva says no. It says it says just like over there, we're talking about on Har Sinai, which was last week's parasha, to do with when if a person came up to the Har Sinai, Yaroi Yare, right? Right. What does that mean? You're going to stone him to death. Right? So therefore, over there, what are we talking about? Skila. So to here, we're talking about sekila. So Amalo Rabbi Yosef says, Rabbi Yosef, Ani Danti, right? I came and I said, Lo techaye kol neshama from lo techaye. Atan Danti lo techaye from lo yichye. Meaning, what's better? Whenever you want to do a gzera shava, it's always better that the gzera shava is much more exact. So I went and I told you, Mechashefa lo techaye, from lo techaye kol neshama. They were talking about that you're not allowed to let the Karanim and everything live in the land of Israel. So if it says lo techaye to lo techaye, so therefore I want to say it's saif, hereg, right? Which basically means by the sword. So it makes sense. But you went and you said im be'emai lo yichye. It doesn't say lo techaye. So therefore you're comparing mechashefa lo techaye to im be'emai lo yichye. So which one's better? Obviously mine is better. So it's better to kill them b'saif than to kill them with sekila, because you were comparing it from lo yichye. So he says, Amar lo Rabbi Kiva, Ani danti Yisrael mi Yisrael, sheriba ba'en hakatuv mitot harbeh. I'm going from Israel to Israel, that there's many different types of deaths. ואתה דנת ישראל מעובד כוכבים, שלא ריבה בהן הכתוב, אלא מיתה אחת. That the Torah only gave you the saif, meaning like this. You're right. You went and you learned techaye, and I learned lo techaye from lo yichye. But you judged from a Jew to a goy, because the mechashefa is a Jew. Mechashefa lo techaye. When it says lo techaye kol neshama, they're the goyim that are in the land of Israel. The goyim, there was only one death penalty to the goyim. It's saif. So if you're judging the Jew from the goy, that there's only one death penalty anyway. Here, I'm judging the Jews from the Jews. By the Shekhinah coming down on our Sinai, they were all Jews. Mechasheva lo techayeh is a Jew. So I'm judging the Jews from the Jews, that there's many different death penalties, and therefore I'm going to come and I'm going to tell you that there's going to be this death penalty, which is going to be the Sekilah. So that's what he comes and he answers. Okay? So it comes out, it's a machloka between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yosef. Okay? Samech Zayin Amud Bet, 67b. Ben Azai Omer. Ben Azai says, Ne'emar mechasheva lo techayeh v'ne'emar kol shochim be'ema mot yumat. Right? It says, this is mamash, one pasuk after another, right? It says that you're not allowed to be a sorcerer, you don't let them live, and you're not allowed to sleep with an animal. Simacho inyan lo. What is the connection between them? What's the connection between animal, right, bestiality, and this concept? So he says, Mashochavim be'ema biskila, just like if somebody has relations with an animal, he gets sekila. Af mechashef beskila. So to the meaning, why is it brought down to, it's like a hekesh, by juxtaposition. Why is it close proximity? To show you that it's the same death penalty. Amalo Rabbi Yehuda, says Rabbi Yehuda, he says what? Just because it's close to each other, right? We're going to come and we're going to take him out to Sekila, which is the most stricter. One second, but Ovi Yudoni is like a mechashefa. So why did you take them out? Why did you take them out of the meaning? If right now you're coming and you're telling me that technically speaking, Ovi Deoni is also black magic, it's also mechashefa. So why did you tell me that there's a different halacha to do with Ovi Deoni? La'ki shalem v'lomar ma Ovi Deoni meskila mechashefa meskila. You make another hekesh that just like Ovi Deoni gets sekila, so too mechashefa gets sekila. Meaning the fact that I took it out and I'm teaching you what is a death penalty to do with Ovi Deoni. Remember, the Ovi Deoni was putting either the bone in the mouth and then speaking through the mouth, or it was through the armpit and speaking and doing all these things. So therefore he says that's going to be sekila. So 2 years going to be sekila. So this is what he comes and he asks against, right? Rabbi Yehuda comes and he asks against Ben Azai. So says the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda, Nami, according to Rabbi Yehuda, the heavy of Yudoni He says, one second. He says, whenever you have two pisukim coming and teaching you the same concept, it means, why did you need two pisukim? Just tell me one. The fact that you give two psukim teaching you the same concept, it means that I cannot learn anything from it. Because if I want to learn something from it, so then I only need one pasuk, and then I'm going to learn from that one pasuk. When I have two pasukim, shne ketuvim abayim keechad, that are coming and teaching you the same yisod, so therefore it means, why did I need two? To teach you that it's only these two. And I cannot learn anything from it. So that's what he says over here. He says over here, right, whether of or yudoni, they're both chayavim sekila. Yeah, shne ketuvim abayim keechad. That's what we just said. Shne ketuvim. Ketuvim here means scriptures, two psukim. Two psukim abayim keechad that are coming to teach you the same din. V'chol shne ketuvim abayim keechad, right, that is coming to teach you the same din, you don't learn from it, right? He says here, the reasoning of the klal, of the general rule is that if the Torah would have wanted one, right, wanted to teach on everything else, it would have only told you once, right? And then you would learn it from there. But from the fact that the Torah wrote it again, comes to teach you that it's only that and not anything else. So he says here, if the Torah wanted to tell you that it's only Ovi Deoni in order to teach on the klal mechashafim, that it's going to be sekila, so you didn't have to bring down both. Why did you have to bring down also the Ov and also the Deoni? Just bring me down one. So the fact that it taught it both, it's only Ovi Deoni and not the mechashefa. So answers the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Zechariah, says Rabbi Zechariah, Ada Amra, Kasavar, Rabbi Yehuda, Shne Ketuvim B'im Kecham Lamdim. From here, right, it comes out that Rabbi Yehuda holds that you do learn from Shne Ketuvim B'im Kechad. Right? Why? Because that's what we're learning. Right? That means that any time the Gemara says Shne Ketuvim B'im Kechad Melamdim, that is always Shitat Rabbi Yehuda. That means there is a Shita that you do learn it. Who is that? Shitat Rabbi Yehuda. Okay? Amar Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan, Lama nikra shiman keshafim. Why be'emet are they called keshafim? Okay, so until here, what do we have? We had the concept of the sekila. Whether it was going to be that they learned from the sekila, from Ben Azai learned it from Echashven Koshukam, we pushed that off. Right? Why? Because according to Rabbi Yehuda, it's going to be Shne Ketuvim B'im Kechad, v'chule v'chule, right? And that he still says that we could learn from it. According to Rabbi Yosef, right, he's going to come and he's going to learn it from Lo Techayeh and Lo Techayeh, V'chashva Lo Techayeh and Lo Techayeh Kol Neshama. But so therefore you only get saif, not hereg. Saif is hereg. Sorry, you're not going to get sekila. According to Rabbi Yosef, you don't get killed with the sekila. But we learned in the Mishnah that you do get killed. So obviously it's not like Rabbi Yosef. And according to Rabbi Kiva, you are learning it from Lo Techayeh Be'amayimish Lo Yichya. Okay, next, one more time. What is the reason? Says Rabbi Yochanan, what is the reason why keshafim are called keshafim? Shemachishim pamalia shel mala, because they're going to be soter the gezerah bedin shel mala. What does that mean? Kshafim, it says over here, the milah kshafim is a notrikon, an acronym, right? Kaf, shin is kachash, right? V'chichesh bo. Kachash, chisha, hachasha. What is hachasha? It's like a contradiction, right? We said there's hazama and hachasha. You remember? Right? Contradictory testimony and hazama, edim zomemim. Hachasha just means two people come and they say that this guy killed. Two other people come and say, what are you talking about? The guy didn't kill, right? Not that you guys were with us. I don't know where you guys were. I don't even know who you guys are. But the guy that killed, he was with us, so he couldn't kill. Or the defendant was with us. So therefore he couldn't have been killed in that moment. So that's called hachasha. So that the kaf and the shin is from hachasha. And the pei and the mem is from pamalia. Pamalia is the firmament, up above, shamayim. Okay? So he says, En od milevado. Yeah, there's nobody like HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amar Rabbi Hanina, says Rabbi Hanina, afilu ledvar keshafim. Meaning, even keshafim, right, cannot come and le'ara la'adam if it wasn't for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what does that mean? Right? Which means that this is arguing on Rabbi Yochanan. Because Rabbi Yochanan was trying to say that this could go against Hashem, meaning you could use witchcraft against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? And all of a sudden now we're saying, no, eno milivado, it's mashma that even witchcraft cannot affect nothing. What's the question? Yeah? Makes sense, no? Machloket. Okay. Hahi itita. There was a woman, right? The havat kamehadra lemishkal afra. That she was trying to take afar, mean to take kared Rabbi Chanina from under the legs of Rabbi Chanina without him knowing. Now, why? She wanted to do a kishuf in order to kill him. Now, again, obviously, it's going to be hayi itita, but we just said the majority of them are women. So, but she wanted to do it. Amarla, so Rabbi Chanina found out, and he told her, imistayet zile avidi. If you're going to come and you're going to take it, right? Go, bechavod. It's not going to really help. Why? En od milevadoktiv. Meaning, you could go, bechavod, try taking it. He told him, no, you want to do bechavod. So, any is it so? Says Shani Rabbi Chanina dinafis zechuteh. He said, no. Even according this case, because remember, we just said there was a machloket between Rabbi Chanina and Ol Milevado, right? Rabbi Chanina and Rabbi Yochanan. But according to Rabbi Chanina, it could be that really Be'emet, his yesod was different, because it could be that since he was such a tzaddik, he had so many zechuyot, HaKadosh Baruch Hu would not let it happen. That means even if b'derech klal it could happen, he won't let it happen. Okay? Amar Rabbi Avu bar Nagareh, Amar Rabbi Chia bar Abba, belatehem. We kept on saying in Parashat Mitzrayim that the Mitzrim used to do it belatehem. Elu maaseh shedim. These are maaseh shedim. Belahatehem. When it says with a hey, these are maaseh kshafim. This is mamash witchcraft, right? Kshafim, not with shedim. V'chenu omer, and that's why it says also velata acherev mitapechet lishmor derech etz hachaim. So therefore, that's how we know that when it's written lahat acherev belahatehem, it's talking about kshafim. So the Gemara says, what does that mean? How do we know the difference if it's done through kishuf or shedim? Imagine right now, there's a magic done. How do you know? How do you know if it's done through a shed or through a kishuf? Amar Abaye says the kapi the mana, right? If makpi the mechashef to use a type of a utensil, so then it's a shed. The lo kapi the mana, then it's kshafim. Then it's itself. Meaning, if the guy is doing the magic and he needs a certain type of a utensil, that means you know that it's being done through a shed. I don't know, right? But it means that you need the utensil. Meaning, what happens if he comes and he says, you want me to do the magic? No problem. Give me that phone over there. And he's saying, I dafka. So that is the shed. Why? Because I need dafka, a specific utensil. That's only the shed. But if it's going to be the other way around, then it's not. You understood? So Amar Abaye comes down and he says, so we just said that if it was going to be that he's makpid on a keli, on a utensil, it's going to be shed. Not makpid on a utensil, masek shafim. Abaye says, hilchot keshafim, ki hilchot Shabbat. What does that mean? The mamash melachot asurot just like Shabbat. Yesh mehen beskila, v'yesh mehen patur, aval asur, v'yesh mehen mutar lechatchila. Wow. Mamash, hilchot Shabbat, you have three categories. Sekila, patur aval asur. Patur aval asur means that it's asur d'Rabbanan. That's why it's patur. Patur means you're exempt, but it's still asur. Asur d'Rabbanan. And then the third one is mutar lechatchila. He says the exact same thing happens with, how do you call this? With kshafim as well. Right? So he says like this, Haoseh ma'aseh beskila. You do an action, mamash skila. Haochez et ha'enayim, patur v'asur. So d'Rabbanan. Right? Or even if it's not d'Rabbanan, sometimes it could also be d'oraita. Let me just see here. Yeah, he says it's isur Torah. B'frat zeh, You see, look in the footnote. He says it. Befrat zeh, he says that he's going to be Oziel in Isur Torah is different than the Yelachot Shabbat. Usually it's only in Isur Rabbanan. It's a Minchat Chinuch, Taf Kuf Yud Aleph. Because usually in Ilchot Shabbat, whenever it says Patul v'Asur, usually it means that it's only Isur Rabbanan. Here it's still in Isur Doraita, but it's just Patul v'Asur just because it's not Mita, meaning there's no death penalty. But it's not the exact same as Shabbat, but it's a little bit different in that category. Now he says, right? What is Mutar lechatchila? K'Rav Chanina v'Rav Oshia. Kol ma'aleh Shabbat aski b'Ilchot Yitzira. Every single Erev Shabbat, they used to come and used to do Yilchot Sever Yitzira. And they used to make an Igla Tilta, and they used to eat it. So if you want, you can make a Egel Mishulash. You can make a Sever, take the Sever Yitzira and you make a human being. What's the problem? Yeah? What? It says here, Mutar lechatchila.
You want to tell me if somebody today wants to come in and make from Sefer Yetzirah something, it's okay?
Mutar lechatchila. That's what I just read. Mutar lechatchila. No, you didn't like it?
Why don't they?
We have the Sever Yitzira, of course. Of course. The golem is from Sever Yitzira.
Hundreds of thousands of fighting.
That's what he said last time. Let's do a whole bunch of. You said it was you. Okay. Well, maybe you were sitting here then. Okay. So that's what you said. Yeah, exactly. Just make the chayalim and just go inside.
Why don't
Yeah, I don't think it's that simple to do it. You have to remember it. Amar Ravashi. Ravashi says, "Chazina lelavua de Karna de Nafitz." I saw the father of Karna that he was minapetz chutmo bekoach. That he used to come and he used to, I think, is blow his nose. No, that's what you said in English. But it was mechashef. V'shadi kriche de shirayim nichere, and he used to throw blow his nose, and he used to take out pieces of a coat from his nose of silk. So Pamal, yeah, you imagine right now I'm going to give you a tissue, you're going to blow your nose and it's going to come out silk, right? Can you do that for gold?
Then we can do something else.
Yeah. So we know the Khartoumim, they came to Paro and they said, this is Itzba Elokim, right? Where they're talking about Makat Kinim, right? The lice. So Amar Rabbi Elazar says, we know that the shed cannot do anything which is less than a seora. Sorry, a barley bean. Thank you. Right, which means that since it was so small, he had to say it was Etzba Elokim, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because the shedim they can't do those things. So that's it. And if Papa Amar Elokim, he's swearing Elokim. Afilu kegamla naminu matzivah. He said, what are you talking about? They can't even be borea gamal. Right? He says, Haimi kanefle, v'haimi kanefle. He says, the briot gdolot, right? They could come and they could bring, but not the briot ktanot. Meaning that when the shed needs something, he takes it from Efker. And the reason why the Khartoumim were not able to do anything was because they weren't able to bring it in. It was too big, so that's why. He comes here and it says the shed kal lekabetz briot gdolot shekem bekalut nesvo biachad elav, meaning that the shed could come and get big animals, but the small ones it's very difficult for him to collect because he can't take it from other places that are far away. That's what it says in the Rashi, the Ramban. Okay, fine. Amar le Rabbi Chia, right? Amar le Rav le Rabbi Chia, says Rav to Rabbi Chia. Yeah, we're learning a lot about the tchunot of the shedim, not pashut. Yeah, le didi chazili. Hahu Taya. I saw this Socher Aravi. Whenever it says Taya, it's a merchant. It's an Arab merchant. He took his cherev and he cut his gamal into pieces. V'tarafle betavla. Right? And afterwards he comes, he puts a pamon, he puts a bell. V'kam. He just gets up. So Amalei, he comes and he said to Rav, Levatar hachi dam uparata miavai. He says what? Was there blood at all? Or not, and was there perish at all? Right? So he says, that was a chizat anayim. I mean, when they come and they cut kilo. Yeah, exactly. When they come and they split them up into three or whatever it is, it's all a chizat anayim. It looks like you cut them up. You didn't actually cut them up. You didn't do anything. Okay? Ze'eri, right? Ikla Alexandria Shemitzayim. Ze'eri went to Alexandria of Mitzayim. Zavin Chamra. He bought a chamor. Now, he didn't know that the chamor was made out of kishuf. Kimata lashkuya maya. All of a sudden, he comes, he gives it to drink. Pashar, boom, right? The kam gamla duskitinda, and all of a sudden the chamor became a piece of wood, right? From the gesher, from the pont. How do you say? From the bridge of duskanita. Yeah. So he says amrulei. So they told him he loves zirat. If it wasn't ziri, lo madrin lach. We wouldn't have given it back to you. He says, what? I don't understand. If you check something, if you buy something, you have to check it with water. Meaning, when he went back to the merchants, they told him, I'm sorry, automatically you have to check. Why didn't you check? Water. If you give it to water and then it would come back, so you know that it was done with witchcraft. Right? So therefore, that's how they know. Yeah? So Yanai, ikla lehu shpiza. Yanai, right? He came to a certain inn. Amar lehu, so he told the Bala Ushpiza, Ashke Yamaya, I want water. Karivu shetita. So they brought him a mashke shetita. What is this? It's made out of kemach with water. Interesting. It looks like a porridge type of a thing. Chazad de kamnachat sifata. Rabbi Yanai saw that the woman, she was saying something. So he realized that she was a mechashefa. So he went, Shada purtamine, he poured part of it on the water, on the land, vehavu akreve, and all of a sudden it turned into scorpions. Amar lehu, right? So they went and they told Yanai, Ana shetai miditchu, I drank from you. Atu nami shetu mididi. So he says, you have to drink from me, right? Ashkia, so he gave to the woman the exact same. Meaning, he went and he said to them, "Listen, you guys, you guys gave me to drink, and I just drank it. Now I want you guys also to drink from me." Havai chamra, she turned into a hamor. Rechava, so he was rochev alea, vesalik leshuka, right? She turned into a hamor. So he went and used the hamor. So he went riding on top of the hamor, yeah. And this was this woman that she was a mechashefa. Ata chaverta. So all of a sudden came the friend, pashala, and she became a woman again. Chazed derachiv v'kaya itita beshuka. And all of a sudden they saw that Yanai was riding on a woman in the middle of the shuk. Because he poured water and also she becomes a woman again. And you have Yanai, right? This guy Yanai that he's riding on top of her, right, in the shuk. Yeah, fine. Vatal tzifardea, right? You think it's funny, but these are actually things that were happening. Mamash, like yeah. What do you think? You have it here. Vatal tzifardea. Yeah, he says over here, it comes up the tzefardea, and it covered all over Mitzrayim. Amara bi Elazar, says bi Elazar, tzefardea chata ita. It was one. He shriits amalek kol. It was one tzefardea that came out because it says vatala tzefardea. Tzefardea is one. It doesn't say the tzfardim. It's one tzefardea. But that tzefardea came up and then it covered the entire land. So it says the Gemara tonight, machlok tanaim. Rabbi Kiva comes and he says that it filled up the entire Mitzrayim. Amalu bi Elazar Akiva melechatzel agada. What are you learning agada? Go start learning Negaim and Aolo. What are you coming and learning Gadot? So what happened was that there was only one, but she started screaming, and all the Tzefardim from the world came to it. Meaning, do you know how it is that sometimes you have one animal that comes and it just brings everything else? So that's exactly the way that it was.